Hello, I'm Gary Gensler, Chairman of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. What I would say to anybody is you have to take the issue and why is it relevant to their constituents, to to the American public. And in this case, I think this was a worthwhile case to make, that these derivatives, these contracts that have not been regulated in Europe or in Asia or here, needed to be, but not only because of the crisis, because of the size and breadth. There's $20 of derivatives for every dollar that moves through our economy. And we know they were part of the crisis, not the only part, but they were part. Well, this agency just this past year got back to the size it was in 1999. And we think that we need about 400 more people, which is about 70% more people, even though we're taking on markets that are 7 times the size of what we currently regulate and far more complicated than what we regulate. So we're going to continue to make the case, even though our great nation has a very large deficit. This is the best investment for taxpayer money. I went to public schools in Maryland. Neither of my parents went to college, and I ended up as a young kid, really, at 21, at this financial firm on the street, and had a fabulous 18 years, challenging and rewarding. But this stage in my life is really about public service. Well, I was honored to be on the street for 18 years. There, the competition is about, of course, client services, but ultimately about profits and revenues. And it's here, it's the big difference is everything is exposed and transparent. Well, I was blessed to have a beautiful 20-year marriage, but I lost Francesca to cancer about 4.5 years ago. She'd actually had cancer from the time we were dating, 20 years earlier. And we have 3 beautiful girls. I mean, there are some times around the house that it's like one step removed from a sitcom. I mean, there are things that don't get done, but we make it work. I now have 2 girls at college, and Isabel is still home with me as a 14-year-old. Well, Francesca is a beautiful woman, an artist, a bit irreverent and a great sense of humor, but showed remarkable courage through 20-plus years of cancer. Well, there are certainly moments where I need to take a breath. I've been a lifelong runner, and I think of this like a marathon, which I've done many of. Well, I'm just focused on this right now. I mean, I think for this agency, this is every bit as invigorating and as important as what was done in the 1930s when the Securities and Exchange Commission was first stood up, or our predecessor, it was then called the Commodities Exchange Authority, was stood up. So I think this is a multi-year task right here.